Hey y'all. So we're going to be taking a look at your upcoming Mabon season, but before we do, a couple of announcements. So first of all, I got a treat for you guys. So I developed a quiz to help you determine what your strongest clairs are. So your clairs are your intuitive abilities in terms of clairvoyance, how you see intuitive information, clairsentience, how you feel intuitive information, and so on and so forth. So if you are curious to see what your strongest clairs are, and then get a little bit of information about how to strengthen them further, develop your other clairs, and then also some information on what my strongest clairs are and exactly how I use them to read on the channel, go get your free quiz. The link is in the description box below, and then let me know your results. I really love to see and hear like what you guys' results are. I love talking clairs all day long, so that link is in the description box below. Secondly, I reopened availability for personal readings. I sold out of the first round that I opened up a couple weeks ago, so I put some more availability up, and once those go, I'm gonna have to shut it down, and then, you know, hopefully I'll be able to do it again sometime in the future, but I never quite know when. So I love connecting with you guys personally, so if you guys want to sign up for a personal reading, that also, you guessed it, is a link in the description box below. I look forward to connecting with you. So those are the announcements. Now on to the meat. So we're going into Mabon season, right? So Mabon is a beautiful time as the wheel turns, where we're going into the autumnal equinox here in the northern hemisphere. Flip it for the southern, of course. But in the northern hemisphere, this is when we have equal times of day and night, right? So think about the justice key on the tarot, right? We are moving from Virgo season into Libra season. Libras are the justice key. It's about the scales. It's about balance, right? Which brings it back to that idea of the autumnal equinox and how we begin our descent into the dark time of year. So there's going to be a lot of themes of this time of year in these readings is what does balance look like for us? What is our relationship to the dark time of year? What is our relationship to the unknown and all of the aspects of the things that we can and can't see within the moonlight and you know, the sunlight and all of those aspects of what duality and balance and dark and light brings up for us in our day-to-day and also our spiritual experiences as well. Because as we move forward in the wheel of the year, you know, after that, we have my favorite time, Samhain, aka Halloween, and then we're moving forward further and further into the dark times. Samhain is also the beginning of the new year in the pagan world, my world. So it's a really beautiful time where this is, you know, beginning with Mabon. It's a lot to be excited for. It's a lot to look forward to, and also I find it's a really beautiful opportunity for us to take a really healthy inventory of how we're doing, right? We're going into the last quarter of the year. How are we doing? How have we achieved balance? How are we feeling, right? How can we adjust our equilibrium or just observe our equilibrium, right? And move forward with an energy that feels balanced and grounded and inspired through the rest of the year, right? It's kind of like a, you know, like a last call for the last quarter of the year before we're going into January and we're in a new numerical year. So it's a beautiful opportunity to really take stock and really ask those questions and really consider our relationship to what is seen and unseen. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at your upcoming Mabon season. Hey Aries, how y'all doing? We're gonna be taking a look at your Mabon season here. So in your meditation, I saw the image of a train that had been derailed off of a track. And I saw it lifted up and placed as if by, you know, divine hands, placed on a higher track in the clouds. And then I saw it encased in a big bubble, kind of like I saw the image of, was that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal called Bubble Boy, where that was like in a bubble? So I saw this train in a bubble, and then I saw it just moving along at its own pace. And then I saw a bunch of like insects or birds in the sky trying to, you know, get at the train or land on it or whatever. But it was just in this protective bubble, and it was just kind of going at its own pace on this higher track. And it was just really nice and easygoing and protected and safe and blissful and really, really just sort of a peaceful energy, like a peaceful pace. And I got the sense from this that if you take your time getting to where you're going, you will not need a just in case clause, because it feels like the bubble is a symbol for a just in case clause, right? There's a need to kind of protect against or plan for or any contingency or, you know, what's going to happen. I'm hearing you can avoid a lot of that, the just in case clause, right? If you take your time getting to where you're going. It's only by rushing that you're going to knock yourself out of alignment or derail, you know, that train off the track. So let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is, shall we? Animal energy for Aries. Oh, it's so on the nose. Okay. So here we have the tarantula. So this is perfect. First of all, it's fire for fire. So you know that when you get an animal that is of your like element, it's always very auspicious. So I like that you're getting fire for the fire signs that you are. Now, tarantula energy, this equates to the Two of Swords in the tarot, right? Which is about taking time out to have a conference with your head and your heart and to, you know, gain clarity from doing so. It's about going still, slowing down in order to, well, balance your mind really, because they're swords and swords rule the realm of the mind. And then from that, have a clear perspective, have a, you know, a sense of knowing from doing so in a way that you can't if you're just running around and have a bunch of mind clutter, right? It's interesting with the tarantula medicine here as well, because tarantula medicine is about taking your time getting to where you're going, which is why I had a good laugh when it came out, because that's exactly what we saw with the train tribe. But there can be a certain trepidation around tarantula energy. If you've ever seen a tarantula, they're not, I mean, they can move quickly if they want to, but they're kind of bumble around. They kind of, you know, compared to like a smaller spider, right? Where just, it's very quick and it darts in and out and, you know, all of that. So it's an interesting one with this tarantula energy, but I do feel like you are being called and encouraged to really take your time getting to where you're going. The only thing that can work against you really during this time is rushing. Okay, that just feels incredibly important. Let's see what's going on. Okay, very good. Okay, here we go. Wow. So first up, we have the Three of Pentacles here. So remember, the Pentacles rule the realm of the physical world, your health, your finances, you know, your physical aspects of your home environment. The Three of Pentacles is brilliant because this really speaks, this is the master artisan key, right? This is about someone who does work in a way that no one else does. It's works that they are known for. It's a career, not a job. That's Three of Pentacles. But it's also about attracting influence, help, encouragement, benefactors because of what you do. It's really having a name for yourself in that way and really doing work that has lasting effects. There's also an aspect of collaboration in this as well. The fact that you have this starting here with the Three of Pentacles, and we were talking about taking your time getting to where you're going. Pentacles, earth energy, that's the slowest moving energy of all of the elements. So I feel like that is again being echoed here. But what's really interesting too, do you see this beautiful stag here? And then do you see the three wolves here who are the natural predators of stag, right? Now the stag can hold its own for sure with those horns, but stag energy is also, funnily enough, Emperor energy, which is your home key in the tarot, right? Do you see what I'm seeing with this like bubble around the Three of Pentacles? And we were talking about the bubble. If you don't rush, you won't need the just in case clause. Do you remember I saw all those animals and insects and things trying to get inside of the bubble and not being able to get in because they were safe? This is exactly what I feel like is being mirrored here. And I feel like there's an aspect of this as well. It's really about staying the course and trusting the path and not allowing any kind of fear or feeling the need to control anything and just trusting in the natural path forward with everything that's going on, especially as it relates to anything, you know, financial, home-based, physical body, health, wealth, kind of context. But it's interesting here that you're coming in here in your own reading, but within the context of the Three of Pentacles. Then you have the Queen of Wands. So this is you in your feminine form, being the fiery queen that she is. Well, what's really brilliant about the Queen of Wands is that she, which is really funny, this is coming up again in different ways, she is the queen of timing. Just like the king is the queen of timing, or the king is the king of timing, king of wands, but queen of wands is the queen of timing. She knows, when to move, when to be still. She knows what to say yes to, what to say no to, which also ties her in with this aspect of confidence, because the queen of wands is the most confident, artistic leader of queens that we have, right? So it's a really beautiful energy around sitting in the full seat of your confidence and also allowing what is yours to come to you. Because there's an aspect of that in this as well, right? When you don't rush, when you trust the path, you allow what is yours to align with you, knowing and trusting and embodying the truth that what is yours will not pass you by. So there's something about that as well. It's really interesting too that she's looking to the right. This lion is looking to the right and the crow is trying to hand her this wand, not quite seeing it. I do feel like there's this overvigilance I'm looking at. And I'm just hearing that it's maybe kind of try to cool or calm some of that fiery mind of yours, those fiery aspects, kind of cool it down with getting your mind right and balance. That feels like very much the key. I'm hearing to examine your relationship with stillness and examine your relationship with non-action. As Aries, you're great with action. You're great about making moves, making decisions, right? But I'm hearing to examine your relationship with non-action, because that is actually the key and the boon and the medicine for you at this point. The stag is also about feminine and masculine energy coming together. That feminine energy is about receiving. Masculine is about giving. Crow energy is like giving to the, feminine lioness here, and she's not receiving it because she's not looking in their direction, right? I do feel like there's a part of you that feels the need to look ahead to the point where you're missing some opportunity or jewel of wisdom or insight or clarity, inspiration point that is only available to you if you move at a slower pace and be willing to sit within a space and energy of non-action. But it's not actually non-action. It's actually inner movement and stillness. Then you have the King of Swords here, which is like, okay, King of Swords is absolutely brilliant. It's such a powerful energy to have working for you, because King of Swords is able to see clearly in all directions of time and space, right? Which is why he's so beautifully depicted here as the owl. Because owl medicine states, right, the sun lives through the owl at night. So it sees just as well in the nighttime as it does during the day. So there's something coming in here about illumination, perspective, and being able to see things clearly. We were talking about balancing the mind, clearing the mind, and examining your relationship to, what you may perceive or feel like to be non-action. But the King of Swords is sitting on his throne. Okay, sitting on his throne. So is the Queen of Wands actually, right? They're sitting, they're in the seated position. So there's something in that for you, where it's allowing what is yours to come to you, but also allowing these insights and these jewels and these opportunities to reach you, right? Which is rather difficult to do if you're in a place of doing more than just being, right? Human being, not human doing, all that jazz. Let's go ahead and get some advice. Let's get some. Yeah. So your advice is the Queen of Swords. 3 court cards. Fascinating. So, the fact that your advice is Queen of Swords is really brilliant, actually, the feminine counterpart to the King of Swords, because she is the master editor. She's the absolute master of discernment. She does not let emotions come into play with anything. She decides what's best for herself and anyone around her through a place of just pure, undiluted discernment, right? And we're talking about your ability to see well and perceive things clearly, right? So I love that this is your advice. I'm hearing to really edit your own mind space. Clean your mind, Palace, because it does feel like there's a bit of fear or anxiety going on in there, and you're being asked to really be your own Queen of Swords and really cut away those cobwebs or those aspects that are muddying the waters, right? There's something about that for you. But also to edit, you have to stop the writing process and then go look at what you've already done and then edit before you can resume. So again, it's this another aspect of taking that Two of Swords energy, right? And taking time to enact patience and trust without feeling the need to go full steam ahead, because that is the only, context in which you're going to need just in case clause, or you can knock yourself out of alignment, right? Yeah, feels really nice. Let's go ahead and get an oracle. Let's get an oracle. Oracle for Aries. Oh, really? We got 2 for 1. Okay. I don't even know where to start with this. Okay, first of all, let's start with thought. What were we just talking about with clearing out the mind palace and clearing, right? And really keeping that mind clear. She's also seated in a garden of stillness and quiet. Okay, your thoughts, your mind palace, your thoughts are things, that mental space is really asking you to assume that 2 of Swords position and allow your heart and your head to come together for equal conference, because there are aspects of this that are really muddying the waters, like I said, and it's you can work, to remedy that. Then you have change. You have another owl here. Then you have change. This. I've been working with this oracle deck. This is one of the ones I've had the longest. And this one always makes me laugh for some reason, because it's the way that she's like trying to shield herself against like the wind or something, or the owl. She's like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. You can't see me. It feels very dramatic. But I feel like this for you guys, I'm so sorry about that glare. I'm just working it out in my new space. Okay. But this aspect of change, the owl is about seeing yourself and others clearly, right? It's about clear seeing, intuition, insight, and wisdom. Is she not resisting the winds of change quite literally? This could be an aspect of why you're feeling the need to either rush ahead or overly control what's going on, or why you're resisting that stillness, right? Could be something in that for you. I also feel like there's an aspect of, do you feel like more comfortable when you're busy? Or when you have a lot to do, or have a to-do list, or right? There's something in that for you to examine, like, what is that about? What parts of you were served by always having something to do, or always having something on, or something going, or doing something, right? It feels like there's a resistance to this stillness, and the owl is like, that's okay, I'll wait. Right? So there's really something in that for you. And I do feel like, because it's right here, this is connected to change, and a need for control is what I'm getting. Change is the only constant, so we seek to control things in a feeble effort to regain that sense of power, and like we have any kind of control over, change or the world, right? We have choices, we have options, we have power, right? But we don't really control the way the universe goes. Not like that. We can work with our bit of it, right? We can do what we can do. but avoiding change, controlling changes that want to occur, that ain't it. And trying to control those things just leads to a lot of frustration and unhappiness, and a lot of like, don't look at me, right? I'm hearing to examine your relationship to change and really tend to your mind palace, okay? Something in that for you. So with that thing being said, Aries, I'm wishing you a beautiful Maven. One more reminder, if you do want to get my free quiz on your strongest clair and some exercises on how to utilize your strongest clair and all that good stuff, the link is in the description box below. Again, the personal readings that I have available are, again, in the link in the description box below. I so look forward to connecting with you guys. And just thank you. I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I absolutely love reading your comments. And with that being said, please like, share, subscribe, and thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, thank you for being you. And be well until next time.